So COVID-19 has meant many changes to the way hospitals operate, and for some of their patients, it's meant a longer wait for elective surgery. At one of Cape Town's biggest state facilities, the pandemic has meant organ transplants have been put on ice for now at least. Lindsay Dentlinger spoke to a transplant coordinator who's now caring for coronavirus.
Luke Steenkamp has been a nurse at Groote Schuur Hospital since 2006. After 10 years working in trauma and emergency, he became a transplant coordinator, working with both living and deceased donors. But COVID-19 has changed all that.
Since the COVID pandemic, unfortunately, we've had to shut down because the patients receiving transplants are at higher risk of contracting the COVID.
Steenkamp has now moved to caring for patients in a COVID ICU.
A 6-bedded unit where you have patients that come in. Most of those patients are COVID positive. The ones that rarely come in are PUIs, person under investigation, where they look like they've got COVID, but we're still waiting for the test to come back to confirm that.
For Steenkamp, the change in assignment has also meant a change in his relationship with his patients.
Even though it's sad, you kind of always seem to have a happy ending. Well, most of the time anyway, unless the patient arrests. So somebody's going to get a heart, somebody's going to get lungs, somebody's going to get kidneys. Their lives are going to change for the better. Somebody's going to be restored to their family. They're going to go back to work, and that's great. In this case here, down in the ICU, somebody has contracted COVID. You don't know if you're going to make it or not.
And while he's used to having tough conversations with the families of potential donors, the treatment of COVID-19 patients who are unable to see their families has been hard on him too.
The reality is it's tough. You're dealing with families in a different way, where you're going to have to talk to them about the process. It's a day in, day out kind of conversation that you have with the family. The sad thing is that a lot of patients don't make it. That's the reality. And the family would have seen them maybe weeks prior.
For now, it's unknown what impact COVID-19 will have on organ transplants at this hospital, where the world's first heart transplant was performed, and whether Steenkamp will return to convincing families to donate much-needed organs to critically ill patients. Lindsay Dentlinger, Cape Town.